YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's officially the day after, so it is Black Friday today. So hey, get them deals, man. If you're like me, you're probably staying inside watching this video right now. So what we're going to be talking about today is the Silver Grove quest and every step of the way to beat this thing and get yourself Titania Warframe for free. So without further ado, let's get into this. So in order to start this quest line, you're going to have to be mastery rank 7 or above and have completed the second dream. So keep that in mind going further into this video. If you haven't completed either one of those things, make sure and complete that and then come back and finish watching this video. In order to start this quest line officially, you're going to have to go to Earth and go to Strata Relay and talk to the new Loka Syndicate leader. As always, if you enjoyed this content or if this video helped you, please don't be afraid to like and subscribe down below. We're a growing channel. We're growing really quick. I'm proud of you guys, man. Thank you for 500 subs this week. Carrying on, hoping to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. Enjoy the rest of the video. Now, if you don't know where New Loka is, you'll want to come into the Strata Relay. Just keep going straight past the statue, through this door, and head to the left. And you can see on your map in the top left, there's a little egg-shaped looking thing. It's actually a seed, and they're going to be all the way here on the end of this hallway, and you'll want to talk to her. And one more thing you'll need before officially jumping into this quest line, you'll want to go to the market if you don't have one already and get a Codex scanner. These cost 500 credits per 25 charges. Another thing you can also use is if you have Cephalon Samaris' synthesis scanner, you can use that as well. In order to get Cephalon Samaris' synthesis scanner, you will have to go to the Earth Strata Relay and just pause the game, go to fast travel, select Cephalon Samaris, and talk to him and run through his quest line that he gives. And once you're done with that, he will give you the synthesis scanner. Once you go to your navigation menu or your codex and you select Silver Grove as your main quest line, you will get a message. This is the first objective that you will be greeted with, which is the Nightfall Apothic blueprint. So for Nightfall Apothic, you're going to have to scan Moonlight Dragonlilies, Dusklight Sarracenia, and Sunlight Threshcones. For the Dusklight Sarracenia, you'll have to go to Ceres and go down to Polis, which is right here. It's a quick exterminate. And once you're on Polis, you'll want to look around for items that look like this. For the Sunlight Cones, you'll want to come to Earth and go to E Prime. When you're on Earth, this is more than likely where you're going to be going, and this is where the mission also continues once you get all your scans. You'll want to go to E Prime, go to the Exterminate. This is one of the easiest missions in the game, and these Sunlight Cones are pretty much anywhere on the ground. There's no telling, you could get between 5 and 30 of these Sunlight Cones scanned and be good to go. Also on E Prime, this is where you're going to look for the Moonlight Lilies, and these are a little bit trickier. There's not as many of these, but they are only in the night cycle of Earth. Now keep in mind, the night cycle and the day cycle is not the same as Plains of Eidolon. I put a link down in the description so you can check on these night and day cycles. It rotates every 4 hours for these other nodes that are not Plains of Eidolon, so keep that in mind. The Moonlight Lilies, obviously with the moon, you'll want to go to E Prime at night and get these. Once you've completed these scans, you want to go to your foundry and you'll want to build this Nightfall Apothic blueprint. It only takes a minute, and once that's done, you want to go to your gear wheel and make sure and find an empty slot to put that in. As you can see on E Prime, this is where the next part of the quest is. You want to go here and you'll want to find your first shrine. Once you do, you'll be greeted with some dialogue, and once you get back to your ship, you'll get a message which is telling you to start on the Twilight Apothic, which is going to take you to new places, scanning new things. So for Twilight Apothic, you're going to need Ruks Claw, which can be found on Mars, Moonlight Jadeleaf, which can be found on Earth, and Lunar Pictures, if you haven't guessed, can be found on Lua. And this is why you need to have completed the second dream, because you have to have access to Lua. For Mars, I recommend going to Hellas, which is down here on the very bottom. It's a quick exterminate as well. And the Ruks Claw can be found on pretty much any outside surface. They're not really that hard to find. You'll want to look for them like this and just go ahead and scan as many as you can find. For Earth, instead of E Prime, I actually recommend going to Mantle, which is a capture. These Moonlight Jades are a little bit harder to find than probably most any of the resources you're going to have to find during this quest line. They're pretty big, they're pretty noticeable, but they're very few and far between, so it's not uncommon that you only see maybe a handful or less in one mission. And lastly, on Lua, I recommend going to Copper Niches, which is also a capture. and just look around for these lunar pictures. They can be anywhere. They can be in planters, they can be on the ground, but they're pretty recognizable, and once you see one, you'll see plenty of them to get enough in one mission to continue. Once you've scanned all these items, you want to go ahead and build your Twilight Apothic and do just like the first one. Wait that minute, wait for it to be done, go to your gear wheel, attach it, and go to E Prime once again, and continue the main quest line. You'll be greeted with some dialogue. You'll have an encounter or two. I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, and once you're back to your ship, you'll be greeted with another message, and it will talk about the Sunrise Apothic, which is going to be Frostleaf on Venus, Sunlight Jadeleaf on Earth, and Vestan Moss on Mercury. For the Frostleaf, I recommend going to Venera on Venus, and these Frostleafs, they're very small, but they're typically on the edges of the cliffs that we noticed. Not very hard to find. Once you find one, you'll probably find a handful of them. For Sunlight Jadeleaf, I recommend going to Mantle, which is, again, a capture mission. And just like the Moonlight Lilies that we talked about before, this is a Sunlight Jadeleaf, so it's actually going to require that you wait that 4 hours for it to be during the daytime. Again, if you missed it, that link is down in the description below if you want to track those time cycles. And lastly, going to Mercury and going to M Prime, which is down here in the right corner. The Vestan Moss is, it's just going to be, there's plenty of them, but they're just really hard to track. So what I recommend is just kind of running around, bullet jumping, and making sure to have your scanner equipped. Look on all the surfaces on the ground. It's going to be on the rock, but you want to use your scanner just as much as you can, just so the scanner alerts you that, hey, there's moss over here, because it's very hard to see with the naked eye. You might see a couple as you're running here and there, but for the most part, we used our scanners just to get that little blip that happens when you scan something, or when it sees something, and then recognizing, okay, there's moss over there, and then going over there and getting the full scan. Once you have completed these 3 scans, you want to go ahead and build your Sunrise Apothic. Same as the other 2, wait for the minute to finish, put it in your gear wheel, and go to E Prime and search for the shrine. This time, there's actually going to be a lot of resistance. You'll have waves of enemies, and this will turn into a defense mission. Doesn't last very long. Once this is over, you'll realize that the mission is over, and you now have full access to Titania, her blueprint, and each one of her component parts that you received from each one of these visits to the shrine. So I hope this video helped you. Congratulations. Enjoy Titania. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves out there. It's Black Friday. Stay indoors. Don't be crazy. Don't be one of those people. Y'all have a good rest of your week. I'll catch you in the next video.